in traditional Chinese medicine, they talk about, foods with yin and yang energy. They say that, if you're drinking a lot of liquids and stuff like that, or a lot of fruit, if you're eating a lot of fruit, that's more yin energy. And then if you're eating starch or you're eating salty, dry foods in general, that's more yang energy. And I actually came across that. I had a guy introduce me to that because I remember when I was trying to get the right diet, I was eating a bunch of fruit, drinking a bunch of juice. I was like consuming so much liquids. I was drinking all this milk. I was consuming so much liquids because guys on the internet told me eating bread is bad and it makes you lazy and lethargic. I said, you know what? I literally feel the need to eat bread and I want to eat bread. So that's what I'm going to do. And I realized drinking all these liquids, even though liquids, they're easier to digest, in quotation marks, they're easier to digest. I realized if my body consumed nothing but liquids all day, I actually got quite sick. And I actually did not feel good eating fruit and drinking liquids all day. There are some guys out here that eat meat and just eat fruit all day. I'm not saying it's a negative thing. I'm saying when I did it, I started feeling sick. And I was like, I know eating bread and starch makes me feel like, you know, makes me feel a little bit different, but I kind of like the feeling. So it's something to keep in mind that there's different ideas in health. All these people talk about, oh, starch is endotoxin. There's also studies that show starch actually has pretty good effects at lowering stress hormones in the brain. That starch actually is more condensed energy that I think it's like raises your blood sugar levels a lot faster than fruit. So sometimes when you're really tired and you've done a lot of exercise, sometimes you might crave starch more than fruit because it raises your blood sugar levels a lot faster from what I hear. So it's something to keep in mind that you should be kind of careful what kind of advice you follow from these health influencers. There's a lot of ancient traditional Chinese medicine, ancient principles that speaks about food in a way that makes more sense to me. When I was reading that traditional Chinese medicine stuff, I said, okay, maybe I don't agree with everything they do, but that yin and yang stuff made so much sense to me. Because I said, whenever I eat too much bread, I start craving fruit and juice. And whenever I drink too much fruit and juice, I start craving bread. It's something salty and dry. So it's something to keep in mind. Sometimes your instinct will tell you a lot about that.